starting off in Asia. This morning, North Korea once again fired a missile over the north coast of Japan into the Pacific Ocean, a provocation that they last did 5 years ago. And if you're wondering why it was so much time in between launches, well, that's how long it took North Korea to pull the giant rubber band back once again. In labor news, the FAA has officially announced that flight attendants must now get an extra hour of mandatory rest between flights, which is great. Yeah, this is fantastic. They deserve that hour. And they also deserve someone who will wake them up from their sleep every 30 minutes to ask them if they'd like a drink. Anything else? Oh, and some big celebrity news from the world of Scooby-Doo. After 53 years, the character Velma has officially come out of the closet as a lesbian. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure right now there's someone who's like, as a conservative, can I just say I am outraged? Whatever happened to the wholesome family show about a drug addict who got so high he thinks his dog is talking to him? No, but for real, this is a great move for representation, although it will make things a little awkward for the villains at the end of every episode. Oh, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you weird kids. I mean, not Velma, you're cool, I'm an ally. I'm just saying that, like, a bunch of kids who spend their time solving crimes, that's weird. I'm not saying it's weird that you like women. You live your truth, girlfriend. By the way, can I say girlfriend? Can I say, oh boy, when are those cops getting here? Oh, this is awkward. All right, let's move on to some of the biggest stories of the day. Starting off with the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. Officials say that nearly 500,000 people in Florida are still without power, and repairing damage to homes and businesses could cost up to $75 billion. And because this is Florida, there's one more effect of hurricanes you might not have thought of.
Floridians returning to their homes after Hurricane Ian are facing a new danger: alligators.
A reminder of what people can't see in the waters. In addition to downed power lines after hurricanes or tropical storms, wildlife like alligators and snakes can wash into communities.
Literally right now, there's an alligator right in front of us, you really have to keep waiting to get in there.
Yeah.
This is about as good a reason why as you should not go in the water. We do not know everything that is in there right now, but we know that that is a problem here.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem, okay? Floodwaters are bringing alligators and water snakes into people's neighborhoods. I mean, I've heard of gentrification, but this shit's in the next level, you know? And of course, this was always bound to happen. Remember, alligators live in water. If your place is filled with water, you can expect alligators too. It's sort of like if you fill your house with beer, oh, don't be surprised when Brett Kavanaugh shows up.
I still like beer.
My man. I will say one nice thing about living in America is that if something like this happens to you, everyone sends condolences and offers help. Yeah, because back home in Africa, if you say crocodiles and snakes are being washed into your house, everyone will be like, what did you do that Jesus is sending you these creatures, huh? The devil is in your life. You need to pray, huh? What did you do? I didn't do anything. You did something. But let's move on to the latest news out of Iran. It has been over 2 weeks since the Iranian people took to the streets protesting the death of Mahsa Amini, who died in police custody after being arrested for not covering her hair properly, they claimed. Now, despite the Iranian government's attempts to shut the protesters down, the people in the streets are still growing in numbers.
This morning, concern over renewed clashes in Iran's universities after 2 weeks of unrest and deadly protests sweeping across the country. On Monday, Iran's top technology university was shuttered following an hours-long standoff between students and the police that turned the prestigious institution into the latest flashpoint. And it's not just college campuses, resistance in high schools too. Young Iranian girls removing their hijab while chanting from their schools. A stunning act of defiance and another sign of young women leading the way in these historic protests. Addressing the latest violence for the first time, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, expressed support to the security forces and condemned the riots on Monday, calling them a bitter incident and accusing the United States and Israel, Iran's arch adversaries, of orchestrating the disturbances.
Okay, first off, come on, man. You can't blame the US and Israel for everything. You can't. It's like, oh, this is because of US and Israel. No, this is Iranians protesting what the Iranian government is doing to them. All right, it's not about America or Israel. I bet this dude comes out of the bathroom at a party like, looks like Israel clogged up your toilet. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh. And secondly, can I just say how every single day I'm continuously impressed by the bravery and the tenacity of the women and the girls in Iran. This is so impressive to see. Because remember, they are risking their lives protesting a brutal regime, which I know for a fact I wouldn't have the guts to do. I won't lie. Yeah, like once my mom thought it was a Friday when it was actually a Saturday, and I was so scared to incur her wrath that I just went to school. Yeah, I just hung out alone for the whole day. Somehow I still got bullied. Turns out the biggest bullies lie within. Anyway, let's move on to some breaking news about Elon Musk. The man who will save the world or blow it up by accident, could go either way. Every day it seems like the mad genius is in the news for something else. And over the weekend, he introduced his vision for the future. A humanoid robot called Optimus, which he says will allow for a future where there is no poverty, which I assume means when the robots kill us all, no one will be poor. Then yesterday, the Musk made more news when he got in a beef with the president of Ukraine after Musk posted a Twitter poll asking whether Russia should be allowed to annex parts of their neighboring country. And people, not only is this insensitive, a Twitter poll is not the place to be deciding the future of a country. That basically has the same legitimacy as those fortune teller things you used to do in middle school, you know? It's like, this says you live in Hawaii and get married to Becky and then invade the Donbass region. It's not a thing, Elon. But if you thought that was big, this morning, Elon Musk made $40 billion worth of news.
A dramatic new twist in the Elon Musk Twitter saga. After months of trying to back out, a new report says Musk is now going through with the deal after all.
Musk is now reportedly proposing to buy Twitter for the original offer price. Bloomberg News reports Musk made the proposal in a letter to Twitter. He says he'll buy at the original offer price of $54.20 a share. Musk has been trying to back out of the deal, first signed in April.
Okay, I don't know what the hell is happening here, but apparently the Twitter deal is now back on. Yeah, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised. Elon Musk is notorious for not pulling out of a deal. He stays in there, he's consistent. And you know, one thing about this story, it just shows you how being a billionaire is so wild, you know? They go back and forth on buying a giant company the way most people move UGG Ultra Mini boots back in and out of their Amazon cart. They're like, are they ugly? Are they chic? Oh, I change my mind every day. Although on the other hand, this may be the most relatable thing that Elon has ever done, huh? Everyone does this. They try and leave Twitter with a big announcement just to come crawling back. All right, that's it for the headlines. But before we go to a quick break, let's check in on the stock market with our finance expert, Michael Costa, everybody. What is happening in the market today?
I'm crushing it. I am crushing it. I am crushing it as hard as my heart felt crushed when I learned that Velma is a lesbian. I mean, I thought I always had something with that cartoon. You know, Trevor, you know, man to man, you ever fall for a cartoon? I mean, sometimes I look at the Ninja Turtles and I think, damn, you know, if they just weren't teenagers, but so hot. Speaking of hot, I got a hot tip for you, all right? So pay attention to the end, I got a hot tip. Now, Trevor, behind me, this is Twitter's stock chart today after it was announced that Elon Musk agreed to buy it, okay? Now, before we get to that, just a second. That story about the alligators
in Florida
infiltrating people's homes, I mean, can you even imagine that when they're walking in there doing that stupid little alligator walk, you know? But you got to understand, why is this happening? Why are alligators getting in our homes? Well, it's simple. Economics, okay? Alligators are teaching us how the American housing market functions. Alligators live in swamps. Why? Because they can't afford houses, okay? Not with these interest rates, okay? But then market conditions change, a hurricane strikes. What does that bring? Liquidity, okay? There's liquid everywhere. This is why I'm an expert. Alligators now can ride that liquidity right into a 4-bedroom house. This is why that's happening. Okay, anyways, Twitter, okay? Twitter's stock is going through the roof because Elon Musk has to buy it. And that's the best case scenario for a business, when a person has to buy the product, right? Flowers on Valentine's Day, turkey on Thanksgiving, insulin on Halloween. These are must-have items. Okay, right here. This is the important fact, right? Huge jump in value. Now, I thought it was because they finally added a delete button, but my publicist tells me that's been there for years. Wish I would have known that, okay? But look, this is great financial news for all of us. 1, no big costly trial, Trevor. 2, the sale of Twitter is essentially over. And 3, now Elon can finally focus on the next big thing, perfecting his cutting-edge robot. You all saw this, right? I mean, look, everyone made fun of Elon because you needed 4 people to help this robot walk. 4 people to help a robot walk. But this is why Elon Musk is a genius. You're all worried about robots taking our jobs. If Elon makes them, robots are going to add jobs, right? 4 people for every robot. Robot needs to go potty, we're all going to get paid. Now, I promised you a hot tip, right? Okay, don't fall in love with a lesbian cartoon. It'll only break your heart. Back to you, Trevor.
Michael